Shaine Casas had a dominant showing at the Westmont stop of the TYR Pro Swim Series, going 6 for 6 in individual event wins while putting up some pretty notable times, so let's take a look at his performance. Not counting the first day with just the 1500s, Casas won 2 events on each day of the meet. First the 100 free and the 50 back, then the 200 free and the 200 back, and then the 100 back and the 100 butterfly. Being able to go out there and win events is impressive on its own, even more so when you pull off double event wins 3 nights in a row, but Casas took it one step further from there. Not only did he win all of his events, but all of those winning times were very solid for him. These are the times that he went to win his 6 events, and these are his personal bests in those events. As you can see, he is remarkably close to those best times in quite a few of these swims, with his swim in the 200 free being a new personal best. Now, it's important to note that some of these best times are also from in-season meets. His old best time in the 200 free was from a March Pro Swim Series, and his best times in the 100 free and 100 back are from Speedo Sectionals in 2022. Granted, those sectionals were just a few weeks away from Nationals that year, and he hasn't gone faster than that since, so let's make sure that we don't discount that accomplishment too much. Casas got things started in the 100 freestyle, and he let it rip right from the start. At the first 50, he was the fastest in the entire field as the only man under 23 seconds in a 22.84. Even more impressive when you consider the fact that his best time in a standalone 50 free is a 22.65. Over the back half, Grant House attempted to make a charge, but it was too little too late as Casas held on for a comfortable win. Very soon after that, Casas was back in the water for the 50 backstroke, but based on the way he was swimming, you wouldn't have been able to tell that it was a tight double for him. Casas took a slight lead over the field on the breakout from the start, and after that, he steadily built his lead as he swam away from the field. He touched first in a 24.23, almost 9/10 of a second faster than second place in Michael Andrew and in a new Pro Swim Series record. The next day, Casas had a grueling double ahead of him, the 200 free followed by the 200 backstroke. In the 200 freestyle, Shaine Casas and Grant House set the early pace. House had a narrow lead on the first 50, but Casas reeled him back in, and at the half, they were tied for the lead. House took the lead back on the third 50 as Casas maintained his second position, but by now, Maximilian Giuliani and Gilmarin Costa were beginning to reel the early leaders in. On the final 50, Casas managed to barely hold off Giuliani and Costa, winning with a time of 1:47.17, a new personal best and just 4 hundredths ahead of Giuliani. After that intense race in the 200 free, Casas would somehow have to find a way to get it done again in the 200 backstroke later in the session. Just like in the 200 free, Casas was in a close second at the first 50, this time with Tommy Janton taking the lead by a few hundredths. Over the next 50, Casas would take that lead for himself and begin distancing himself from the rest of the field. Then, during the third 50, multiple other swimmers began to outsplit Casas. He still had the lead, but now the rest of the field was starting to catch up. Yet somehow, Casas found another gear. With the second fastest closing split in the final, he extended his lead once more and won the race by nearly a full second. On the final day of the meet, Casas would once again square off against Janton, this time in the 100 backstroke, and it was a race between these two right from the start, as they flipped for a tie for first at the first 50. Then on the second 50, Casas managed to pull away, touching the wall for first and a decisive win in a 53.54. That makes 5 wins, and just 30 minutes later, he would look to make it a perfect 6 for 6 in the 100 butterfly. Here, there was no question that Shaine Casas was in it to win it. He stormed out to a lead right away, claiming almost a full second lead at the turn. Then over the back half, Casas continued to pull away and extended his lead with every stroke until he touched the wall in a blazing 50.82, winning his 6th event by almost 2 seconds. All around, these are some solid swims out of Casas. So far this year, he ranks first in the 50 back and the 100 butterfly, as well as second in the 100 and 200 backstroke, as well as the 100 free, and even 5th in the 200 free. One thing that I noticed while looking through Casas' in-season meets from previous years is that he seemed to swim more events than he typically does. It looks like his normal number of final swims at any given in-season meets hovers around 3, maybe 4. I find that interesting because Casas is a very versatile swimmer that has a lot of choice when it comes to events that he can swim at a high level, yet he rarely focuses on all of them at the end of the year, instead needing to pick and choose. Now that he's training with Bob Bowman, I can't help but wonder if he's maybe looking to tackle a bigger program in the future. That's something that Bowman certainly has experience in helping athletes with. I think it'd be interesting if we see Casas add the 200 freestyle to his lineup in hopes of gaining a relay spot on the 800 free relay. He was a member of that relay during the 2024 Short Course World Championships, and he had the second fastest relay split out of Team USA's world record-setting relay. He also led off the prelims relay in a respectable 1:40.88. That is a fast enough time to make him the 15th fastest performer ever in short course meters. I need to use the short course meters version because he hardly ever swims the event in long course. His last recorded time before this one was from 2023, and before that was 2019. Whether or not this performance in Westmont means that Shaine Casas is looking to expand his event lineup for the summer, it was an incredible performance through and through. Even for a regular season meet, going 6 for 6 in individual event wins is certainly nothing to ignore, especially in events like the 100 and 200 freestyle that are less of a specialty for Casas, or in other events where he's doing a double against potentially fresh swimmers. In all 6 of his events, Casas found a way to get the job done, and that's something that's important no matter what meet you're at. Which swim from Shaine Casas did you think was the most impressive in Westmont? And do you think we'll see any more 200 freestyles out of him, or will we need to wait a few more years? Let me know down below.